Hello, this week I'm going to be making a video on the Nidus Warframe. Now, to get Nidus, you're going to have to complete a quest that shouldn't take you too long. The hardest part is going to be, there are a couple of index missions where you need to win, but you can only win by a certain margin. So, it's not going to be too hard. The hardest part is obtaining his parts, which I believe you obtain them from rotation A, B, and C of infested salvage. So good luck with that one. That takes forever, and it's not easy. So, Nidus's abilities. His passive. If Nidus is killed with at least 15 stacks of mutation, those 15 stacks are consumed. This grants 5 seconds of invulnerability and restores health to 50%. He is a very tanky boy, so, like, my health right now, 1,245. My armor is 1,095. I'm not going to be dying too often, so I shouldn't have to use my passive too often to survive. But it's a lot like Wukong's, except I don't have to, you know, be like, oh, only 3 per mission. This is the kind of thing that you have as many as you want per mission. I'll show that in a second. His first ability, Virulence, rupture the ground with a damaging fungal growth that steals energy from each enemy it strikes. For every 5 enemies hit, the infestation mutates, multiplying its destructive force. Basically, every time you hit 5 enemies, it doesn't have to be with the same ability cast, it just means overall, you get 1 mutation stack. You can get a total of 100, which means you will have to hit 500 times with this ability. With each stack, your power strength increases, which really that mainly affects that and this. So this is going to be your main damage dealing ability. It's really quite viable for up to like level 60-70, but after that, you know, once you get into, say, Steel Path, it's really gonna fall off and start being kind of useless unless you're trying to get your first few stacks of mutations. Larva, your second ability, it's your CC, and it also helps with this quite a bit. Spawn an infested pod that erupts with tendrils, latches onto nearby enemies, and pulls them in. Basically, what you want to do is you want to cast this on, say, a wall, and then you want to get close with your Nidus and start hitting your one a lot. Because if you do that, then it, like, let me demonstrate because I don't know how else to describe it. Like, you can cast your one a lot faster against the wall versus, I need more energy. It's this. Oh, it's going through. Yeah, it's going through the wall. It's this versus. Oh, of course. I gotta demonstrate that because it's kind of hard to describe. But okay, here we go. It's that versus that. And that's with a range mod on, because I wanted to increase the range of my 2 and my 4, as well as my 3, really. So pretty much all of his abilities are affected by range. No, again, gotta go back. His third ability, Parasitic Link, bind to a target with Parasitic Link. When cast on an ally, both the host and Nidus have their ability strength increased. Linked enemies take some of the damage inflicted on Nidus. So, what I do for, like, hard boss fights, like, when I first did the boss fight with what's her face, Protea, I was having trouble, so I threw on Nidus just to see if it worked. And you're not able to stun her, but you are able to reflect damage back onto her. So I am going to demonstrate what this does. See, I'm gonna survive a lot longer if I have this on a tank. So, if you're moving around and doing everything you should be, then you know you're gonna survive for a very long time doing that. Now, his 4, or what some people call Warframe's ultimate, but I really don't consider it that myself. Gluttonous maggots swarm nearby enemies, feasting until they are hit with virulence and burst with infestation. The maggots benefit from mutation, and each enemy hit adds to the mutation stack. So that's what I was talking about, you know, at first when you're gathering mutation stacks, because, you know, once you get that, you get them a lot faster. So, just a little demonstration of his abilities here. This is what happens when you get his 4 and his 3 activated at the same time. You're unstoppable. You're unkillable. Plus, you're most likely going to have quite a few stacks at this point, or have the ability to get them. So you're gonna have the ability to just take damage and take damage and take damage, and nothing's gonna be able to stop you. Because once you get into skill path, I don't see that heavy unit dying anytime soon. There we go. I'm dying. It's passive. So, that's Nidus Warframe's abilities. Now, those weren't base abilities by far. Those were modded. Although, they weren't modded too drastically. So, at base, they're going to be a little weaker. But he's a very strong frame, even without mods of any kind. Now, I have Steel Charge on because normally I use Hirudo with this frame, because of Hirudo's special ability, plus it's an infested set of, you know, brawler type weapons. It just makes sense. Coaction Drift in my Exilus slot. The Exilus slot isn't really required. It's kind of just a preference. Plus, when I first got my first Warframe Exilus unlocker thingy, I put it on Nidus. He was my favorite frame for so long. Intensify, plus 30% ability strength. Not really that major on him, because the mechanic with his stacks. Flow, 150% energy max. Kind of a no-brainer. Everybody puts that on everything. Carnus Carapace for the armor and the health. Steel Fiber for the armor. Vitality for the health. Gladiator Aegis for the armor. Thieves Wit because I was doing some syndicate missions earlier. stretch for the range. Now, arcane-wise, I don't have a lot of arcanes. I still gotta farm Eidolons. Been working on that. But, yeah. When building the Nidus Warframe, like, normally with Warframes, you gotta go for strength, or duration, or range, or that kind of thing. But with Nidus, you go for health and you go for armor. You don't have to worry as much about the abilities as you do the tank side of things. Now, this is not what he looks like normally. I have the deluxe. So, normally, he looks like this. Ignore the other stuff as well. So, yeah, this is what Nidus looks like normally. Personally, I don't think his normal looks that great. I very much so prefer... gee, yay. Gotta redo my colors. Personally, I kind of like a darker kind of color set with Nidus, because it kind of fits. I believe that was you. Kind of like darker colors and kind of red colors. But yeah, that's the Nidus Warframe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.